Hey everyone, it's Lydia Benham with Whole Modern Parent, and today we have one of our most special guests, my co founder, Michelle Briggs. Michelle, welcome to our videos.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
We also have, actually, I think our most special guest is not you, Michelle, I'm sorry, but it's actually little Charlie.
No, little Charlie Briggs, who has actually, he's been with us from the beginning, right? Like I found
Yeah.
out I was pregnant with him almost a year ago. And we started conceptualizing this in January. So he's kind of been our little mascot
He
this whole time.
is. He
Yeah.
absolutely is. So, everyone, we are here today because Michelle and I put together something really, really awesome for you all. So, what we found is just in the climate of everything and what's going on with COVID and all the moms, and we're realizing how everyone's struggling with working, with figuring out care for kids. But we have some insight on this. So, Michelle and I have actually been work from home mamas since collectively, I think, what, 10 years pre
Yeah.
pandemic, Michelle? Yeah. So,
Been since 2016 for me.
right. Yeah. So we kind of sat down and we were like, we have something to offer you all. And we have a ton of tips and tricks on figuring out this landscape. So both of us, we have committed to being part-time moms, part-time, and I guess boss ladies pretty much at this point. And we do that intentionally because we intentionally, and for me, I like to spend a part of 3 to 4 hours of my day working and then the rest of the time with my kiddos because I love spending time with them. So we wanted to sit down and tell you why we are launching our awesome work from home survival kit for you all. This is for moms and dads, by the way, because there's a lot of dads with kids on Zoom right now, right, Michelle?
Oh yeah, my husband's actually in the other room right now on a call,
Mm-hmm.
working. He's been working from home since March. So we've both been trying to figure out that work from home juggle, and it's been kind of cool that I have the experience of having been at home and have been able to share some of that with him and help him kind of get into the rhythm here because it is. I mean, it's a whole different rhythm when you have all the options to make your day what you want it to be.
Yeah. So, what this is going to look like for everyone is we have laid out some awesome tips and guides on time blocking because time blocking is epic, right, Michelle?
Yes. Yes. Time blocking and the to-do list. It's like everything.
Yes, absolutely. So Michelle, like, give us just a preview of a really well laid out. And again, you guys, we want you to know that this is like our lives are not perfect. We have good days and bad days in this, but at least we have a framework. And that's what we're trying to share with you ladies. So Michelle, what's like a really good time block day for you?
So really good time block day. So I think yesterday is probably a good example of a good time block day for me. And I'm just gonna like let you guys in on the fact that things got like real off the rails for about a week. And my husband and I had to kind of sit down and like rediscuss like what our day and our week is going to look like. And I think that really set a good tone for yesterday being such a good day. So we started the day. My husband took the kids to school. I got the baby down for a nap. He came back and we had our family meeting. So we have a family meeting once a week, which in our toolkit, we lay out exactly how you guys can do this too. But this meeting, it's just 30 minutes of time where we go through how we feel like we're doing personally, professionally, what we need from each other, what the week looks like, so that everyone's on the same page and there's less sort of like impulsive, like freaking out about, oh, I had this meeting and oh, I need you to do this. And because that all sucks up time. So we were really on the
Absolutely.
same page. After that, he was in charge of picking up our 3-year-old at 11 o'clock, and I got a nice chunk of work time. I got about an hour and a half, really focused flow time. He came home, we all had lunch together, me, Justin, and Bo, our 3-year-old. At which point I gave him about an hour and a half of time to do some work. And then we switched again. And we had our WMP planning meeting for the week, which was great. And about 3:30, shut the day down, and we picked up my oldest, and did our afternoon and our evening routines, and then I had a nice little block of work time in the evening. So I mean, they're not really long blocks of time, but they were purposeful, and I felt like I was really getting things done and moving things forward yesterday, even though they were in small chunks.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and that's great. So I love how Michelle does it because she's really good and like and time blocking when you have your windows of time and figuring out tasks that you can actually feasibly do in those windows of time is part of the secret sauce. I'm a little bit different in Michelle, so my husband and I we do every other day versus like little time blocks during the day. So I'll get like my power days on like my office days. But again, that's it's different. It depends on your family and your lifestyle and what you're able to negotiate with your spouse on these things or
And on the
partner.
season that you're in, because
Yeah, exactly.
kind of like that until I had the baby, and now it's all different again.
Yeah, because
Um,
you're attached to the baby. You're right.
yeah,
Like you have to
yeah,
be
so
with the
my
baby.
rhythm has kind of had to change because of the baby's rhythm, but like kind of using the tools that you and I use, on a regular basis, like I was able to sit down with that and like reconfigure my rhythm and like my week flow based on my new reality, which is kind of like what work from home is. I mean, it's
Right.
just constantly evolving.
Yeah, and so you're right, exactly. Everyone's setup and situation is always going to be different, but the principles that we have marked down for this survival kit, I mean, they're across the board. You can use them and adapt them however your life situation is. So I just want to give some information to all of you mamas. So while Michelle and I, with what we do with Whole Modern Parent, is very, very flexible. We've pretty much built this around what we wanted our lifestyle to be. But it wasn't always like this. It definitely wasn't for me. So I was definitely, before when I was working and consulting in the tech world, I was on client calls. And I just want you all to know that I still had the work from home, and there were times that you just have to let things go. I at one point did have a coworker that quoted me on Facebook for thanking my daughter for putting her pee pee in the potty on a call. So I forgot to mute. The mute button is also very, very powerful. And toggling on and off your video. So I don't want you to think that this isn't relatable to you, because we've both done this with bosses, we've both done this with clients. We have been able to maintain a level of professionalism and still get paid. So this isn't just for someone. I don't want you to think, oh well, Lydia and Michelle are just really, we're lucky and we've set up this. Yes, we have, but it's taken us 10 years to get to this setup. So we've gone through all the hard work and the embarrassment, and we don't want you guys to go through all of that, right, Michelle?
Right, right.
So okay, Michelle, what is like your worst, because we have the work from home fails. Like, okay, can you think of one off the top of your head?
Oh man, work from home fails off the top of my head. Um, Gosh, I feel like it's like death by a thousand cuts. Like some days, like I can't like pinpoint like that exact like the PP story. I mean, that is just like so good. But
Is it?
some days it's like I just have like a lot of things that need to get done, and like that if that day doesn't get done, it affects the rest of the week, and it might affect like a deadline for a project or something, and everything just, it's like one thing after another. And you can always tell those days, like you just start off in the morning and there's just like an energy. And for the longest time, it was always like fighting against those days. And like at some point, and I think, you and I will talk about this later in another video, and definitely in the survival guide, it's like there's just some days you just have to like call it,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, there's just no point. It's like futile, like the entire universe is like working against you. But you know what? Usually, like, I always find, like, if you can just like call it and give yourself some space, like the next day is usually a really good one.
Absolutely. Well, and along those lines, so what happens if the day that you have to call it, you have an actual deadline? Well, here's what happens: is your boss and the people you work with are super super flexible. I think us, especially as like women, we don't allow ourselves the grace of asking for extensions, and I've learned that actually it's okay to say, hey, you know what, I can't get this done for you by tonight, but I can get it done for you at the level and quality that you need it done tomorrow or in the next 2 days. And everyone is okay with that. I think we have like this pressure of just, and we do, yes, we have deliverable dates and things due on specific dates, but we also have flexibility. And even now, I mean, the atmosphere is even better for flexibility. So this is the time to really be leveraging it versus before. But yes, absolutely. The calling it days. I mean, we have that documented in our survival kit because it's just, you can't fight the world and your kids on the same day. That is too much to ask for.
Well, and last week, now that I'm like thinking about it a little bit, we had an important call with the bank about our just annual loan renewal, and the baby who is like always super calm and like napping just starts like freaking on the call, and our male banker, we just kind of had to roll with it, and he was pretty
Yeah.
good at this, and
But that's okay because that was after my kids were screaming on the call too, Michelle.
it's true. We both had kids screaming on that call and somehow managed to get done what we needed to get done and move things forward. So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it just is what it is. And you're right. We got the call done. I told you in advance. I communicated with you. That was, a time block that I was juggling both of my kids, a 1 year old and a 3 year old by myself. But I was able to do it, and it was a successful work call for us, and we got it done. And you know what? I think it also made it a little bit more relatable because he was telling us about his kids because he could hear ours.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Everybody is kind of letting down their guards and bringing more realness in, which is, I think, great. It'll be really cool to see how post pandemic the working world looks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're
So,
working, we're working from home parents.
yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so this was just our first teaser video, but Michelle and I are working really hard on putting this together. And thank you to everyone who's answered our polls. We've gotten a lot of feedback. We know that about 50% of you guys are struggling with this right now. And I completely understand that because, like we said, I mean, it took us years to get to this point. So we're going to keep putting some information together and look out for some more teaser videos from us. Thank you. Bye,
Thanks.
Michelle.
Bye.